Hi, this is XWI Productions, Yawa Illumination Productions. And today, we will be discussing something very important. What will we be discussing, that is? We will be discussing the nature of loneliness. Fakeness, loneliness, and then misery love company. It'll be a short one. This isn't really a podcast, but more of a philosophy cast, you could say. Have you ever felt like, your family, your friends, your associates, they would never talk to you? You know how abnormal that is? They would never talk to you. They would barely say anything to you, have an engagement with you, have any real conversation. It's like while they're talking to you, they're trying to find a way not to talk to you. You didn't do anything perverted. You didn't do anything weird. You just existed. Your nature was simply different than theirs. You try to talk with them and they're all mean and kind of nasty-ish and they're kind of backhanded, kind of passive-aggressive, and you can kind of see it. Why do they act like that? Why are these people acting like that? You know what the etymology of people means? The etymology of people means those citizens. It means citizens of the country. Not just people with two legs. The whole thing of I got a mouth and eyes and two legs, therefore I'm a people. That's not a people. Legally, the legal definition of people is that you're a citizen of that land, or you're native to that land. Which begs the questions who these people are, what type of foreigners they are, and it's understandable why people don't like outsiders. It's understandable why people don't like outsiders. But these are outsiders. You think these are, like, if you really think about it, these are not familiar people. These are outsiders. You can say they're familiars as in more of a demonic sense, but they're so outsiders. They're actual strangers to your dimension, to your mind, to your body, to your soul, to your environment. And if you're an indigenous person like me, a Native American, come from Cherokee, 5 civilized tribes, Memphis, Tennessee, West Tennessee, you should know that many people in your country are foreign. They didn't come here legally. They didn't get into your mind legally. They didn't get into your heart legally. They didn't get into your soul legally. They didn't give you legal love. And this goes into your parents as well. Your parents could be foreigners. Foreign minds. While your mind is connected to God and your mind is natural, their minds are foreign and parasitical. Your family, your friends, or what you call friends, which aren't really friends. They're kind of just put there by the system, not by the government necessarily, but by the parasitical force I call perversos, which is a parasitical force that creates false realities, false dictations, false principles, so you can fall further into the trap, so it can sap more of your energy and steal your information. Your information being your personal information. How you think, how you sleep, how you eat, what you like, what you dislike. It's trying to compose a false reality based off of past habits, things you liked as a kid. It's trying to compose a reality so you can buy into it. Even if that reality is true, they want to give you a reality you have to buy into, and they want to take the reality from you. And the people that are part of that reality, right, who are actually a part of that reality are true and real, you don't even get to see them. Because the seller who sold you that reality took it away from you, so you can't see it no more. Part of that is your parents. Your parents sell you. They bought a false reality. And then when they bought that false reality, they sold it back to you as a kid. They passed that down. If you're an indigenous person, you know that you get passed hand-me-downs. Some hand-me-downs are good, some hand-me-downs are bad. You know, it's hard to talk about what I'm talking about. Because when you're on a podcast or you're doing something like this, it makes it easier. But in real life, they're not going to get it. And like, what are you talking about? What am I talking about? What am I trying to convey? What exactly am I discussing? Is it that everyone's an evil bastard around you? Is it that everyone's trying to kill you? Not necessarily kill you. Because when you kill something, you then remove it, and then you can't control it. If they wanted to kill you, they would have killed you already. You got people like you gotta think. If they wanted to kill you, they would have killed you already. You're making these videos about how your life is trash and it's terrible. They don't want to kill you. They want you to be miserable so they can siphon more of your energy. If you've seen the movie Matrix 4, they created a matrix where they siphon energy off of fear. Nothing was ever going to happen to you. But while you're living your day-to-day life, your potential is capped because now you're afraid of everything. They're siphoning fear off of you. What you call the demiurge. And I'll post a picture on the... You'll see a picture on the video. And it'll be of the demiurge. You'll see it's a weird picture, but you'll see it. But that's what they're trying to create. But they're all the same thing, right? If a person's coming to kill you, it might be a black person, it might be white, it might be Asian, Indian, from Ohio, from all the way from Kansas, Atlanta, DeKalb County, Shelby County, be all the way under the ocean. A killer's a killer. He's coming to kill you. He might say he's X or Y, but the outcome is he's going to kill you. He might have different ways of functioning, different ways of eating, different ways of sleeping. He's coming to get you. So when I post a picture, you'll see the Archons and Reptilians and the Demiurge. They all do the same thing. They have to suppress, people have to suppress their force. They got to suppress themselves. Because if they're too expressive of themselves, they lose power. And these forces that are that are parasitical, what I call perversos, the god that they come from. It's not that they're powerful, it's just that when the world became more inverted, meaning people desired things that were not should be desired. And this is a harder topic. This is why I don't talk about it in public. I want to talk about it in public because I just don't give a fuck. Or excuse me, I just don't give a damn. You know, when I talk about these things in public, I just say, hey, you know, that guy wants to touch your kid. He gets mad at me. And just like, hey, you know, he's an inappropriate bastard. You know, but I have to be courteous. You have to be courteous. One thing people like you and me have to be courteous of is that when you say outlandish or wild things or things that should not be said or talking about things that should not be said, you got ears listening. They're listening. They're like, what is he talking about? Why is he talking about that? Why is he saying that? Why is he saying that? Why is he doing that? Why is he saying it like this? Oh, he's strange. I'm like, you're strange. You're strange if you don't talk about it. If you ignore it, you're strange. You're a strange person. You're alien if you ignore something that should not be ignored. That's what aliens do. They ignore shit. If you ever met an alien, he's not impressive. I mean, some of them could be. Really, entities and different forces are all different versions of human. People have to remember that. People have to remember that that an alien, a reptilian, an archon, there's different types of humans. And some of these different types of humans are just very corrupting. They're extremely corrupted. And they're so corrupted, some of them have to die. They have to go away. The energy has to be just dissipated. But there's just different variants of humans. You read the stories of the Anunnakis, right? Oh, I read the story of the Anunnaki. They're winged humans. They were winged humans. They're all human. Human meant you came from the soil. You may have looked different. They used to say that black Americans or black people, or people melanated or different looks weren't human. But they all came from the soil. A hair is like your antenna, right? My kinky hair is an antenna of sorts. It is very alien to someone else. But its kink was designed specifically to retain water and to retain photonic energy. That's what it was trying to do. But you've been sold a lie. You know when you go to the store, right? Or you meet with a buddy and then he gives you some weed and it's supposed to make you have a proper dopaminic and serotonin release. And it turns out it was just a bunch of junk. You didn't actually get high. You just took some poison into your mind. And now it's harder to think. You're slower. You can't think straight. You want to feel energetic and you just can't. Something's blocking you. Everyone around you is blocking you. You can call them psychic attacks, but it's not really even a psychic attack per se. It's just projection. They don't tell you that once you're born, you can connect with other people. The only way for you to connect with someone, to talk with someone, is to connect with their mind on a little small level or a large level. But they don't train your mind. Because they don't train your mind, it's easy to get projections into it. You can be the smartest person on earth. And look at Albert Einstein. Look how he got influenced. Look at other people that got influenced by something negative. Because they didn't train their mind. Moses himself, his mind, he didn't understand how to really deal with his people, and had a father-in-law teach him. You know. But this is what you're dealing with. It's not that the world is false, it's just that they've created false principles and they've instilled them in a bunch of environments, houses, people, children. You can see a child and that child embodies a false principle. False behaviors, bad behaviors. Could the child change? The child could be designed to be that way, like a robot. So you don't want that child around your other child. That child can stay alone. But you've probably noticed this growing up. It's not that you were strange, it's that you're normal. What is said to be strange is actually normal. An eccentric person is pretty normal. Why wouldn't he be eccentric? Look at his environment. Hell, even a person with bad behavior is somewhat normal. Just look at the environment and influence that he has to undergo. Look what he's trying to stay away from. There is something called the noble savage where he's unaffected by the environment, but those people are very different. You meet them daily. But it's other people who are weird. And they had some level of remorse, I guess. But they never really kept up with you, did they? They never really talked with you. Or they never really could keep up with you. They'd ask how you doing, they would listen. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that you thought you had a friend and all he would do was kind of just listen? And he may have some input. Most of the time, it's a form of monitoring. If they were your friends, they would actually come and do something with you. They would invite you. They would engage with you. They're not to say they're not your enemies, but this is to say that they're just trying to gain information from you. And if you've never heard from them back again, then that probably means that's all they do. They're not bad. They're just all they do. That's all they do. Anytime it's like a video game. You go meet an NPC. You go talk with an NPC. That's all that NPC does. It's never going to give you anything else. It just can't. It wasn't programmed to do it. Its design was to be inherently linear. There was no complexities in its design. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad when you're surrounded by that. But for some of us, it was a more psychological type battle. Psycho-spiritual battle. Others, it was physical. And everybody's strong or weak depending on how they adapt. So you might be adapted to physical things, and you might be really good at doing things physical. Someone hits you, someone try to hurt you physically, you're just like, you just shook it off. And then you get attacked psychologically. So essentially this environment that you're in is trying to control you via your strengths. Trying to use your strengths against you and increase your weaknesses, or the fear of your weaknesses. And unfortunately, many of your parents, they seem to be cool. Your parents may seem to be cool. They may seem to be pretty tight. But if they barely engage with you, if they don't really tell you how to really make money, how to have an actual financial independence, and if they don't try to reach that financial independence themselves, then that falls on you. Now you're like, well, I never learned it. What's social independence like? Is this to say your parents are bad and to say that your family's bad? Not necessarily, but it's to say that the productiveness of their nature is very low. And they need you to be productive. When you're around them, they're productive. They won't say it, but it's true. It's like it's like when families set up parties, right? At family houses. Like, no one really... It's like when you live at the house, there's no partying, there's no anything, no one does anything. And when parties get, it's like, oh, we gotta set the whole house now. We gotta deck out the house, make it look nice. That's kind of what that is. But these are non-productive people. Non-productive people. That's what Satan is. Satan and the devil, they are non-productive. They say Satan's doing push-ups outside your house, outside your door. He's not doing push-ups. Satan is not doing all that. In fact, Satan is an angel, is a lovely angel. He is supposed to be a lovely angel, and God created him to be lovely. And something perverted him. I call perversos the god of perversion, or the being of perversion. Like Darth Plagueis. If you know anything about Star Wars, Anakin Skywalker, he himself, and I'll make a podcast on that, but he himself got corrupted by Darth Plagueis. And then Darth Sidious, and then Darth Sidious learned from Darth Plagueis. He was manipulating midichlorians to create Anakin. Even though Anakin was already created by God, they tried to influence that. They're genetic alters. So in life, that's what you're dealing with. In life, you're dealing with genetic alters. People that want to change your genes and change your habits and behaviors to something that's not ordaining to you. You want to create art, right? You want to play music and guitar. Then they give you a violin. You can't play a violin. You're not meant to play a violin. You're meant to play guitar. You want to play drums. They give you a stick, or they give you a string instrument. That's perversion. That's part of this. It's a surface level perversion, but it's giving you something that you don't know how to do. And some of them aren't really bad people. Some of them do that on purpose. They do it on purpose. They want to make you go crazy. You ask for red, they give you blue. You ask for a wonderful wife, they give you a wife of the devil. Then you go try to find it yourself, and they're like, well, see, you can't find your own wife because we never taught you how to find your own wife. So it's a crabs in a barrel situation. You gotta remember, if you have family that's like that, friends and family and associates that are crabs in a barrel, they are bad people because they don't have any type of mode of production on their own. No means of production. No mode of production. No motive to have any production. They're only motivated when you're around. Because they're trying to impress you. They're trying to keep their image tight. I was around people like that a lot. And I've done things like that myself. Social media is one thing, you know. Social media kind of makes you like, oh, I better exercise and post it on social media, so it's like I'm exercising. But you don't need to post on social media. Social media is kind of like a trap too. You're soliciting yourself to randoms, and these randoms monitor you and watch you. And you may get money from them, but you're not really sure why. And you keep that habit up, and you bring that into real life. There's all your information is about you. It's everywhere now. This is not to say that people are evil, but to say that there's a perversive principle, or if a perversive principle even exists, but a perversive entity, a perversive force that lulls your mind into a high dopaminic state, like a low serotonin, high dopaminic state, and then dopamine is for reward. So it keeps you in that reward state, and dopamine also can control for psychoactivity. So actually, if you're kept in a high dopamine state, you're always in a psychoactive state, constantly. And if you're in a psychoactive state, you're not able to see what the hell's going on around you. Ever smoked a lot of weed and you just like, you just low, you know, that's what that's like. That's exactly what that's like. And that's what you're around for many of you. They're just there to get information, siphon your energy, siphon information from you. They're not going to give anything back. And maybe you've done that in the past because that's all you've been around. You know that you should be doing something, but you're just like not sure. You're just not sure. You're like, oh man, should I have done that? Should I have stolen that money from that person? You're not doing things because you're bad. You're doing things because you don't know what any of this is. Do you even know what everything is around you? This isn't to confuse you. Like, obviously it's the material. But everything that's material has a chemical component to it. And that chemical component to it can affect it. Or you can just say spiritual. But they're one and the same. If anybody tells you anything about spirituality, it's there's a realness to spirituality. But chemistry is spirituality. It's more or less the same thing. When your body decomposes, goes back to the ground or just decomposes, you know, it breaks down its materials. Energy is being broken down and being converted. And guess what? That energy is never destroyed. It's not even spiritual. That's just scientific. But science is spiritual. What you call spiritual is really mental. What you think is spiritual is simply mental. It's all in the mind, but the mind is ever expansive and the mind is still true. I don't know a lot about the brain. I'm not a neuroscientist. I've been learning a bit about it. There's someone called Joe Dispenza. I was reading about him. I need to get his book again, but he talked about it a lot. He talked about neuroplasticity. How your brain's a muscle. Your brain's a muscle. Your body is a muscle. And if you don't know how to use a muscle, your mind can be projected onto from others. And it won't even physically expand. But your doctors don't really tell you about that. Neuroplasticity, dopamine serotonin, you have to get tested for that. think it's iron deficiency, not getting enough sunlight. It's basic things though. Not getting enough sunlight, needing certain nutrients, and not realizing what's influencing you. I know I've kind of been a little bit around with this podcast. I'm just kind of trying to find the topic I'm trying to discuss is very strange. It's extremely esoteric, not because of a spiritual occultic reason, but it's an awareness thing. It's like now you're becoming aware. But how do you become aware, and how do you use that awareness? How do you use that crabs in a barrel awareness? How do you use that awareness? When someone's giving you clues and hints, why are they doing that to you? They're playing with you. They don't want to be honest. It's dishonesty. But anything can be used for good or bad. So even clues and hints and these things can be used for good. But because everything is so illusionary and so elusive, you're not sure how that can be used for good or evil. No one tells you. It's just you're born into it, and then you have to be made aware yourself. Maybe you lucked out. Maybe you lived a fucked up life. Maybe you lived a messed up life. Maybe that was probably for the better. For some people, for many people, when you live the messed up life, it gives you a perception that no one else can have. It's miserable because you're all weird, but you're able to understand the reality that you're in. For many, trauma doesn't necessarily say that you understand it. I shouldn't say. If you experience trauma, then you understand everything. Not necessarily. But you must understand that a lot of this is a trick. It's lights, smokes, and mirrors. And if you watch The Wizard of Oz, you know, she did actually fall into a dream state. She did fall into another reality, like Alice in Wonderland. But the reality was that someone constructing that reality was using fear-based tactics on everybody. Using fear-based tactics already. You can see even in Wizard of Oz, you see the same thing. I talked about the good witch and the bad witch. There's a jealous witch trying to keep the main character, I think her name was Alice, Dolly, I forget her name. But in the Wizard of Oz, they tried to keep her character from realizing the truth. So you had the witch, the nasty woman, was working with the Oz, masqueraded as an angel of light. That's probably where you are. You're probably on the yellow brick road. For many people, they don't realize that they're on the yellow brick road and they are asleep. And you know about brain waves, right? Any brain waves, gamma, theta, delta. Your mind could be on a different brain wave, a literal different brain wave, so that you're going to be able to see certain things on a conscious level that normally you would only be able to see on the subconscious level. So if you're dreaming and your brain goes in a gamma state, you're going to see and perceive things differently and feel things differently on that frequency. And whatever you're seeing is going to affect your decisions. So even if someone says what you see is in your own mind, whatever you interact with in your own mind is going to be real to you. And however you perceive that thing, and if that thing has the intention of whatever you're perceiving as to be true, then it will affect you in some type of way, negative or positive. Even worse. how do these things physically come? Well, part of it is a biological component. If you know anything about parasites and anything about other viruses, they can create other neurological and subconscious issues. Parasites in your brain can alter your perception of everything. Something as simple as being addicted to carbs and sugars and sweets and junk food. And now you just keep eating that and you're never satisfied. Why? Because whatever's in your body is causing you to do that. Parasitical. They need to feed off of processed food because it's all their processed creation. Parasites are a processed creation. So they have to eat processed foods. They have to keep making this stuff in the lab. Not to say labs are bad, but they keep creating fake stuff. Ever ate candy, bad processed candy, and you felt good after it? Probably because you had a parasite in you that's eating off of that. And then it rewards you with dopamine. So if you eat something bad, you're supposed to feel bad, not feel good. When you taste candy, right? The jelly beans, did you buy at the store? Some of these jelly beans are real, just pig skins. Pig fat. Just pig fat. Colored pig fat. It was like colored shit. You're eating shit. You're eating fecal. Nasty. But they give it different colors. And they alter the colors to taste something different, and then you can't tell the difference. You're just like a lab rat. You're a lab rat the whole time. They try to alter your perception, and they create different belief systems and spirituality, religion, and a lot of it is bullshit. In between it is truth. But everyone that's a part of these things that you want to be a part of, a lot of them are working with the exact same thing. And there's different ways to work with something. You can work with the source directly or believe in it directly. You can believe in the lie and then make everyone else believe the lie because you believe the lie. You want to make your life easier. You want to have a community of people to be around because you don't want to be miserable. Or you know directly who's doing it. And not only do you know who's doing it, you don't tell nobody, then you go poison your friend. But you're supposed to be aware of these things. You're supposed to be aware that what you ate was bad. But whatever's in you is preventing you from feeling that. You're not supposed to be eating McDonald's foods. But the amount of sodium and what they put in the food makes it so dopagenic. You get rewarded off of eating shit. Trash. You get rewarded off of eating trash. You had sex with a woman or a man, and it made you feel so good. The man was trash. But his genitals, you were so focused on the genitalia and how it was interacting with your body and the body fluids, you didn't think for a second that the bodily fluids you're exchanging was poison. You were having sex with a poisonous man. That man was poisoning your genitalia, your female genitalia. The woman was poisonous, had a poisonous, or the male genitalia. The woman had a poisoned female genitalia. But now everything, your whole body's been made to not be aware of anything. You won't know if you're actually sick or not. Many doctors don't test for parasites. They don't test for other types of deficiencies. Mineral deficiencies, macronutrients. They don't test for other things that you would never guess. They're going to talk about cleansing. Cleansing your whole body, your gut. And your gut's your brain. Your heart's your brain too. Everything's your brain. Your whole body's your brain. But your gut is it's like the easiest access to the brain. When you flush out the intestinal walls, the axis between the gut and brain will no longer, it will no longer connect with the brain itself. You only feed the brain, feed the nutrients to the brain. Because whatever you eat, your brain's going to get nutrients from as well. So you got to think the foods that you eat, when you go to eat that meat, those burgers and shit, that has no nutrients. There's no nutrients, no nutritional value. Once you exercise it off. And maybe you'll gain some type of muscle protein. But you gotta think the waffle you just ate had no nutritional value. There's no protein in the waffles. There's no gluten in the waffle. The waffle you eat had no nutritional value. Like, if you kind of see the whole thing, I know this is kind of a long podcast. It's a long one, but I'll kind of make it in parts. But you can kind of see where all this is going. And your parents are aware, but some of them just don't care. Some of your parents just don't give a damn. Your grandparents don't care. They feed you all the nice food because maybe they think they're doing what's best for you. Maybe they love you. They want to love you in a messed up world. They see what you don't see. And they just stop caring. It's like you go fight a war, and then guess what? Another war just happened. And it's like, you know what? Do what you want. Do whatever you want to do. Go have sex with that nasty girl. Go do whatever you want to do. Because the world that you're in has a lot of richness. It's 99% rich and 1% nasty. It's just that 1% is where everybody else is. That 1% nastiness, they throw you in that pig pen, in that laboratory. That nastiness, that nasty area, is millions of miles. It's miles and miles. It's say 10. Say it's 8 million kilometers. It's not even the whole world, but they threw you into an experimental maze. And you identify with people in the maze. They look like you. Oh, X person looks like me, so therefore he must be me. X person doesn't look like me, therefore he's my enemy. Okay, well, X person doesn't look like me, therefore he's my friend. It's not necessarily. Because of the way the world's constructed and how they built and influenced the entire world, everything has a rat race mindset. And different people, different individuals are experimented differently from different individuals. Some individually, like they just experiment on just because, and some of them because they're part of that system. It's very complex and very crafty. It's just smoke and mirrors. Bad diet. The real thing is the diet in an environment. You're breathing shitty air, terrible air, rather than oxygen. It's carbon dioxide. Trees are producing carbon dioxide. Trees are producing negative ions. Your gut is bloated with parasites. Can't have any type of nutrients. Medication doesn't kill them. You're told you don't have any parasites. And some of the doctors, unfortunately, just don't care, or they're ignorant, or they just don't want to tell you the truth. It's not that people are dumb. It's just it's not even a stupid thing. It's not just about stupidity, actually, no more. It's more about I don't know what to call it. Part of it is willful stupidity. It's willful stupidity. If you look at every adult you've ever met, they're being willfully dumb on purpose. They know what they need to do. They just don't care. And the next generation messes up. I watched adults. They do that a lot. They'll be willfully dumb. They're old. Some of them are old and brittle, crusty. Some of them are young, old, but still have a young spirit. Everyone just wants to live a normal life. No one really wants to care. But they want to isolate you, right? They want to isolate you. And it's you. It's not anybody else, it's you. One person. One person. And that whole room is one person they're looking at. It's you. You're looking at the experiment. They already know. You understand? People already know. Have you ever noticed if you talk to someone, talk to a group of people, they kind of look at you and they're like, they just know something. You can't see it because your perception has been altered. You've been genetically altered, psychologically altered, spiritually altered. You can't see it because you're in a confused state, but they can see it. They're not really there to help you. They're really there to just see how aware you are. If they're there to help you, they would show you the best method possible, but they don't. You're told you have to be consistent every day, consistent about something. Not necessarily. There is a level of consistency you have to be consistent with, but then the other part is that not really. You don't have to post videos every single day. That's not the type of content you need. When it comes to content making, you don't have to post your content every single day. You need to post good content. If every content is good content, then you're good. Every content is intentional. Something that can be used for your product. It doesn't say you have to be inconsistent either, but and there's a word I'm looking for. Perhaps it's because I don't want to do the work. Perhaps it's because personally, it's I see so much BS. It's like, why can't you just give this to me? Like if you want something, right? And you're looking at someone, or if you're at a job site. You obviously can do good, but they won't give it to you because they want to test you, put you on the trials and tribulations. The trials and tribulations are supposed to make you stronger. Because you watch movies, you're influenced by movies, everyone's influenced by movies and mythology about tests and all that. I'm like, that's all BS. If they're testing you, if someone's testing you, 9 times out of 10, they're just abusing you. They're just testing your awareness to see how much they can abuse you. Even at jobs. You know how jobs, they show you these training videos? Oh, watch this training video. This will show you how to do things. And like some training stuff is good, but some of the stuff you actually go out and practice is very different. They train you stuff on the job, and then you go to the job and you're like, I was never trained for this. You didn't train me on how to approach people. You didn't train anything about anything social. Nothing social, nothing constructive, nothing pertaining to the environment itself. Didn't even teach him. Didn't even teach anything. I used to work with Lockheed Martin, so I'm kind of bitter about that. It's more personal. This is bitter. It's bitter. I'm like, you didn't even... You teach me all these things, and then you were never going to apply it. There's nothing's going to be applied. Because training doesn't put you in an actual environment. The environment will put you in an actual environment. The environment will actually train you. The environment will actually train you. You can be guided on what to do, what not to do. You can say, don't follow this person, don't follow this person. But if you're a weak-minded person, you're a very influenced person, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. Because the power of influence is like an energy transfer. And if you have something inside you, it can connect with you. So if you have a parasite inside you, and that person has a parasite inside them, you're going to connect. If you know anything about the law of attraction is everything. The law of attraction boils down to biology. If you're a white person, or you're part of a race, or you're part of or a black person, or you're part of another ethnicity and race, you're part of the same ethnicity, you're gonna be attracted to the same ethnicity. And if you weren't, then look at the whole world. If they wanted to mix, if people wanted to mix with each other, they would have done it already. You already would have seen that. The whole world wanted to mix with each other, just mix and mix and mix and mix. We've already seen that. But no, it's law of attraction. There's something inherent about the biology that they have been designed with, that they're born with. You're going to be attracted to a specific person because you have a specific mind. So therefore, if you have parasites in you, if you're sick, if you got a virus, you're going to be attracted to other things like that too. The law of attraction, karma, all of these things are always in effect. It's a constant cycle of effect. It didn't just stop. There's no 1-2 and it stops. It's always in effect. So if you're sick, you better get well better. You better get well quickly. Maybe you need to attract sick people. Maybe you meet a sick person and you both. These things aren't necessarily all bad, but yes, you can be influenced. That's just how things work. That's how it all works, bro. It's terrible to even say. If you got parasites in you, you're gonna be influenced to eat bad things. Because it's literally in you. It's not outside of you, it's in you now. Oh, also wanted to touch on that real quick. I'm gonna get on that later on, about how spirituality is a scam, how they say spirituality and all these things are a scam. But that's really what it is. It's parasites. Parasitical knowledge and parasitical parasitical chemistry. Micro parasites. If you feel some type of energy go into you and from another person, it was just a parasite. They were micro parasites, but it's poisons. It's supposed to help parasites grow inside your body. They want to. And someone at home probably like, how does he fucking know? He doesn't know that. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's like, yes, I know what he's talking about. It's just parasites. When you have so many parasites in you, you just do nasty shit. And if it's in your brain, there are stories. There's a story of a woman who had parasites in her, and she was just acting crazy. Or there is a story of a man where he had a brain tumor and he was very pedophilic. They're all just different forms of parasites, cancer, all these things. They need it has to feed off of something. It has to feed off of something.
Welcome to the
normally I don't do long podcasts because
enjoy it.
Because I'm new. But really my podcast is only what I want to do for 30 minutes max. So this one I'll just make an exception. I'll make an exception. But most of my podcasts I want to be at like 20 minutes. I'm pretty good at podcasts. Creating a topic and just talking about the topic. But that's what you're around. And if you have any symptoms of rashy anus, scratching of the head, snorting, bloating, if you snort a lot, if you have a lot of snorting, that's because you have a lot of shit in your lungs. It's preventing you to breathe. What you call a demon is really just
We're smoking weed.
a nasty physical entity. Ever had a dream? Ever had a lucid dream? And you dream about all these weird demons and people in you? I had a dream about that. I had a dream about demons, and they were infesting in my house, and they were warping. Their whole bodies were warping when I found out that they were demons. And I tried to chase them away, and I found my computer was like all gross. My computer, it was a REM sleep. It was a sleep paralysis, so it mirrored that in my room, so I thought I was actually there. So my computer was all nasty and gross, and there was like a parasite on my computer. Yeah, everything looked nasty. Everything looked nasty. The whole house was nasty. It was infested. And the bacteria, and if bacteria grows, especially if it's bad bacteria, if it grows in certain houses. Well, I don't want to skip to that part. But yes. And then you also want to talk about subliminal messaging. I've talked about things like that too, deep stuff, subliminal messaging. That has everything to do with gut. It's law of attraction. If you have parasites in you and someone gives you, if you like eating something, you're gonna be attracted to it. If you love peaches, and someone says, "Hey, you like peaches? I got some peaches for you," and your body's so used to eating peaches, gets reward off of eating peaches. Now the subliminal messaging is really just law of attraction being put into it. They're lying to you. And anytime someone, and this is just going to end the topic. It's going to be an hour soon. But anytime someone tries to tell you this deep secret of the universe, spirituality stuff, it 9 to the 10, it's just parasitical shit. And they're altering your brain waves to fuck you up. They're probably doing it to your family too. You never know. You never know. I see your family might be your enemy, and they might not be an enemy per se, but whatever they did to themselves is gonna come onto you, and it's gonna be influenced. So it's not that your family's your enemies, but your family's infected. You're infected. You're aware of your infection, but your family isn't aware. Your associates aren't aware. Some of them are the infection. Like they're literal zombie. You can see that. They can be black or white. They're just a literal zombie.
He's a slut, he's a hoe, he's a freak. Got a different girl every day of the week. It's cool, not trying to put her.
But it's what it all boils down to.
You know that I got a crush on you.
A parasitical force that needs to create an illusion so it can just feed off of you. Just distract you. If you've seen the movie It with the clown, that's what it was. A clown creature that feeds off of fear, and then when you find it, it's a disgusting creature.
Little Kim the queen bee, so you best take heed. Shall I proceed? Yes, indeed.
That's what Satan is. Satan's probably a small, nasty-looking woman. Nasty-looking woman-like creature. Nasty creature.
Who me? Not you. Oh yes, who's he? I even dig your man's style, but I love your profile. Whisper in your ear and get you all shook up, but don't blush. Just keep this on the hush.
That's probably what you got going on.
I know you heard me on the radio.
And whatever spiritual journey you go on, notice a lot of it you can't gain information from whatever you're journeying on. I had something talk to me a while ago. On the more spiritual side. I had something talk to me, he said it was God. And I'm thinking, why the hell is this thing telling me it's God? And why didn't it give me consent to talk to me?
You know I love the way you feel love. Sip my tequila, murk from the dealer.
But while I was having that experience, something was telling me that demons can't read Bibles. And they said demons can't read Bibles. They like reading Bibles. They said how demons can show you anything if they wanted you to see. It's really a parasite. It's really the parasite. Parasites can make you see whatever they want you to see.
I know you heard me on the radio.
If you've ever been on a spiritual journey, if you've ever been on anything spiritual, if you ever saw something in the corner of your eye, it disappeared because something wanted you to see it. It want to make you go crazy. Something inside you trying to make you see something and make you afraid. You want to go somewhere, right? You wanted to go somewhere. Well, now something inside you made you go into a subconscious brain state, subconscious state of being. Like I said, when you're high, when you're on dopamine, that changes your brainwaves. When you're different brainwaves, you'll see something, you perceive something, you might be scared of it. Notice you'll never see it again. But you'll know when it's there. You'll look through and you're like, wait, that person is not normal. I've never seen a person like that there. That's probably because whatever you were seeing wasn't actually there, or was being influenced. It was all in your mind. Some type of schizoid behavior. Poisons. There's a movie called Dead Space where, in the animated one, where the guy basically saw his daughter, but it was the parasitical satanic device that was making him see his daughter. And so when he went to her, he ended up, he opened the space hatch, because they're in space. He opened the hatch, and then out from the hatch released the air. He got sucked out, and he died by embracing his daughter. His daughter wasn't even there. It was an illusion, because whatever wanted him to see his daughter wanted him to siphon energy from him, wanted him to die, wanted him to kill himself. That's what a lot of spirituality is. Spirituality is a suicidal thing. Religion is a sacrificial thing. It's what they have turned religion into, and spirituality is a suicidal thing. They've turned spirituality into into this suicidal type culture. What you call a spirit isn't even a spirit. You have gifts, but you never needed, a poison to give you more gifts. You don't need a giant tapeworm to give you a gift. And these worms can retain chemicals too, so you can poison a tapeworm, have the person eat the tapeworm or whatever was in it, and it's gonna make his mind go crazy. There's another movie about that too. It's about a parasite that attached to the man's brain, and it was making him see shit. And then making him see a bunch of shit, and it was giving him euphoria sometimes. They make him really horny. They want to fuck. That's what parasites do. I have to go see the movie. It's called like brain something. I'm actually gonna look it up right now. It's I think it's called Brain Damage. Brain Damage. It's called, the movie's called Brain Damage. It's just about that parasite. And the more the parasite's in your brain, the more it gets you to see shit. The more the parasite's in your brain, the more it perceives you, the more it changes your brainwaves, the more it changes your perception, the more it changes how you eat, how you sleep, your sexuality, everything. It influences everything. They say there's something that's good parasites, but I don't know about that. The concept of the parasite is supposed to take nutrients from you and never give anything back to you. Some parasites are neutral, supposedly. You know, they say there's good bacteria and bad bacteria, and I believe that. So there probably is good bacteria, parasites, but the parasite was making them see things. And people with a lot of parasites can get really delusional. They can get really delusional, and they just don't know what to do. And their minds they're getting all this dopamine. They feel really horny because the parasite's secreting chemicals. So you get really hypersexual for no reason. You want to have sex with men, women, dogs, cats, just terrible things. Because the parasite wants to connect with other parasites. So it wants you to have same sexual relations or with animals. So it needs you to connect with other parasites. It needs you to go to this place. Because it's like, oh my god, this is the place where going to be all the parasites are at. And during the full moon is when the parasites are active too. And unfortunately, people around you have been infected by it. So if someone acts really weird around you one day and then they act fine the next, they probably are being infected with something. It's a zombie infection. I know I'm kind of going into weird places, but this is I call it the weird. I wouldn't say weird, but this is around the time I'm going to be ending this podcast. I'm splitting it into 2 parts. But this is just the world that you're in. You're in a very parasitical world. And normally you can tell whether or not something is false or true. If something is a crabs in a barrel, it's trying to give you half truths, and then once it grabs you, you'll never get the full truth. It's like the bank account number. It's like they got access to your bank account number. So you follow them, you know, they guide you on how to do everything, and they stop midway. And then they leave, or it just stops. Because it probably didn't know, but doesn't want to give you the information, or probably didn't know everything. So whatever you're seeing, this is just for the audience. Whatever you're seeing, whatever you experience, whatever spiritual stuff you're experiencing, you gotta make sure that a lot of the spiritual stuff, some of it's just bullshit. A lot of it's just bullshit. It's supposed to change your mind, supposed to alter your mind, supposed to ruin your brain, rot your mind, make you scared of something that doesn't make sense to be scared of, make you eat things you don't want to eat. You know, when you got a bunch of demons in you, it's gonna make you do a lot of bad shit, influence you to do a lot of bad shit, eat bad stuff. I'm looking, you know, it's eating bad stuff. They want you to adapt to something that's bad. You can't adapt to bad stuff. You can adapt to eating pigskin. No matter what, you'll never survive off of it. Your body's never meant to eat it. If you're an indigenous person, you're just not meant to eat it. It just won't work. Your body's not meant to eat it. I'm not meant to eat raw meat and raw fish. For some reason, I was eating a lot of sushi. I never really liked sushi as a kid, but then as I got older, for some reason I wanted to eat sushi all the time. I was eating all this sushi. I'm like, why am I eating all this sushi? I'm eating all this raw stuff. This is not even something that I would, do. This is Yawa Productions podcast. This is the weird, wacky world of Yoa. And thank you for listening. And yeah, we'll do something like this again. But just remember, all these people, you can call them whatever you want to. They're all just different forms of parasites. They're all just different forms of parasites. When I post a picture up there and you'll see it, there's just different forms of parasites. You don't even have to be afraid of them. Once you get rid of whatever they see inside you, they can't do anything. They die. And then what you have to do is you have to also help that person too, eventually. Because you can't live in a world where it's like the movie They Live or the movie Body Snatchers. You can't live in a world where you know, everybody's body got snatched and then except you. Do you really want to live in that world? Because the food you're gonna eat, you're gonna go right back into the system. So you gotta help everybody around you eventually. These parasites, these entities, these things, these bad things in people is just giving them bad knowledge. It's giving you access into your body. Your body's an open door. Your body's an open door. Not even the spiritual sense, just your body's an open door. It's like that Videodrome. It's like Videodrome. Your body's an open door, so it can be reprogrammed to do anything. So you have to heal your gut, heal your body, and then adapt to a level where you can close off all these influences. And your body will be able to sense what's good and bad for you. You'll be able to sense it. You'll actually be able to sense what's good and bad. But currently, in your current state, you can't sense what's good or bad. Why? Because your body's too acclimated to something that is bad. So you can't sense it. You can't sense the difference. So thank you for joining, and you guys have a great day. Y'all out. See you broskies later.